Hey everyone, TJ Hernandez here, and I'm the founder of RosterCoach.com, a classroom-style video-based website that's designed to help you improve your daily fantasy sports game. Today's preview is from a lesson on how to use Vegas lines to help you find kickers to build your lineups around when playing NFL DFS on FanDuel. If you like this video, please like and share it, and don't forget to leave a comment below.
And today we're going to focus on kickers. I know I'm just talking to you FanDuel users right now. There is no kicker over on DraftKings. But I just wanted to do a quick lesson here to come up with some potential trends for finding your kicker plays based on Vegas. We'll start here with some data based on total and spread as it relates to kicker scoring on FanDuel. Over here on the left, you can see that I have the data separated by total. I've been using the same total groupings throughout this course. And you can see that there is a relationship, obviously, between predicted game total and FanDuel scoring for kickers. This shouldn't really surprise us. Obviously, the higher scoring a football game is, the more opportunities a kicker is going to have. We're hoping, obviously, that for our kicker, that comes in the form of field goals. But, of course, a team that scores a bunch of touchdowns will also give our kicker some extra point opportunities. And as we've seen with guys like Gostkowski and Hauschka, those can definitely add up in the long run. Overall, though, I do want to caution fantasy players that while there is a clear relationship here, kicker scoring is still pretty variant. The entire table is within one fantasy point in terms of the range. So I think that while we obviously look to play kickers in high total games, it's clear that there are definitely a lot of other factors that you need to consider. Quality of the offense, ability to score touchdowns, red zone conversion rate, things like that. Things that I'm sure the roster coach crew will cover in other videos. Moving over here to the right, the focus is on the spread, and we can see little to no relationship between the spread of a football game and kicker scoring. There's about a 1 point difference, it seems, between having a kicker that's favored and having a kicker that's an underdog, with the exception of the extremes. And that really isn't much different than what we would have derived from total. So again, we're talking about variant kicker scoring. There is this immensely high scoring group up at the top when the spread is between minus 16.5 and minus 14. But as we've seen a few times in this course, the sample size is very, very small for kickers falling into that category. And in fact, when I looked at what kickers actually made this group up, it's exclusively Gostkowski and Hauschka. So we're talking about two kickers that are in high quality NFL offenses, but also two kickers that are usually towards the higher end of pricing. So I think at that point, it really becomes about opportunity cost anyway. And I'm not necessarily sure I'm looking to pay, a few $100s, maybe even $1,000 more for a kicker just with the hope to get those few extra points. Those points definitely matter, but unless a kicker is going to score, 20 or so fantasy points, I'm not really sure that you're going to be gaining enough of an edge over the field to warrant using that kind of salary there. So overall, so far, I would say that we have loose trends here for both total and for spread. Clearly, a team that is favored in a high total game is going to produce more kicker points than one that is not. How much that advantage is kind of hard to see. Just to kind of wrap up this topic, I wanted to go back to this correlation matrix that I've used a couple of times already in this course, courtesy of Fantasy Douche over at RotoViz. And if you look at the kicker column over on the left, you can see that kicker scoring correlates pretty strongly with DST scoring and quarterback scoring. Again, when we consider the factors that go into each of these positions, that makes sense. Quarterback being another position that thrives in high total games in which they are favored. And DST, again, being a position that we consider to be most valuable in games with large spreads. I think that in some respects, this is probably the best way to find our kicker plays. Just find kickers that are playing with quarterbacks that you would consider playing and defenses that you would consider playing. I don't necessarily advocate for a stack there, because I think that if you, for instance, if you stack Tom Brady and Gostkowski together in either a cash or a GPP lineup, I think you're really just hurting your upside overall, because the only real way that the kicker is going to pay off that price is if the offense is settling for field goals, and obviously you want touchdowns when you're playing a quarterback. So I don't necessarily think that I would stack in this case, but if I was considering playing 3 or 4 different quarterbacks in a given week, I would probably consider the kickers coming from the quarterback I'm not using.